If you take a look at the wheel here, you'll notice there's a lot of black showing through. And this isn't dirt. This isn't actually dust from the brakes. This is wear. And some of the coating, the silver coating, has come off on a large section of the wheel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these over in plasti-dip. I'm going to plasti-dip these wheels so they're all black. But before I can do any of that, I need to wash off the whole wheel. So that's what I'm going to do first. So we're just going to spray it down with some wheel cleaner and really get in there and get this perfectly clean. We don't want any dust or anything on there. And then go one more time.
Next, we need to prepare the wheel by putting plastic behind the wheel to cover up all the mechanisms in the brake. We don't want any of the plasti-dip getting behind the wheel and touching any of those mechanisms.
Now to block off the tire, what we're going to do is we're going to use some tire shine. We're going to shine these real good so it has a smooth surface, and we'll be able to take off the dip. Any of that goes onto the surface of the tire really easily.
After you've cleaned off your wheel, you've added tire shine, and you've put the plastic behind the wheel to protect the brake, we can move on to actually dipping the wheel.
Now the theory is with plasti-dip that it works better if you keep it in a hot bucket of water. So that's what I did. And now I can get started with applying my first coat of plasti-dip. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually paint the wheel cap as well. You're going to have to decide what you want to paint when you go forward. Now, right before you paint, you might want to do a quick dry off if there's any moisture on your wheels. And then we're ready for our first coat. Now, our first coat is going to be a very light coat, just so there's something sticking to the wheel that can then be layered upon later on. So we're not really trying to paint it just yet. We're just adding a simple layer. Once you finish with one wheel, just work your way around the car to get all the wheels. You want to allow 10 to 30 minutes in between coats to allow the first coat to dry. Same with all the rest of the coats. And hopefully by the time that you walk around the car and do all the other wheels, by the time you get back to it, you only have a few minutes to wait before you can do the next coat. You can do a quick dab test, and if it's not coming off on your finger, it's probably good enough for the second coat. Now the second coat is going to be a little bit thicker. We're going to actually try to paint the wheel and see a coating all the way across. Now in between my second and third coats, I'm going to want to rotate the wheels just in case there's areas that I'm not spraying from this angle that I can hit from another angle. So to make sure that I am rotating my wheel correctly, I'm going to put a piece of painter's tape on the wheel, and I'll back up so that the painter's tape is then at the bottom. Third coat's going to be another thick coat. All right, this is our fourth coat.
And remember your ABCs. Always be checking. Always be checking that your plastic is well covered and that you're not getting any dip behind the wheel onto the braking system.
This is the fifth coat. And I'm going to put one more coat, a sixth coat, on all the wheels. And to finish off, I'm going to put a couple coats of the glossifier on there because I want to give it a more glossy look. All right, and now we are done. We can pull out the plastic from our wheels and take a look. And now we can take a look at the overspray. And the cool thing about the Plasti Dip is we can just pull up this extra overspray real simply, especially since we put the tire shine on. So we just need to spend some time pulling this up.
After we've pulled up everything that's close to the wheel, we can come back with a sponge to get all of the overspray that's a little bit further up on the tire.
So these are the end results with everything taken off, and we just see the dipped wheels here. And the neat thing about this process is it doesn't apply to just wheels. For example, I have an emblem where the colors were just wearing out, and as a simple fix, I guess you could say, is I just plasti dipped it black so you don't see all the faded colors inside the emblem. And this will work just as well. So here's what the emblem looks like. You can still see the writing through it, but you don't see any discoloration. It's just a black all the way through, and it's a simple way to get this looking good without having to buy a whole nother emblem.